looking straight at you, helpless, trapped within itself.
Кто тебя убил?
Communism.
Понятно.
It takes a millisecond for the association to flash within your cortex. You have no idea where it's coming from, only that it's right. Then the rigor in his muscles gives up, and he smashes sideways into the spring mud, letting out a horrid stench.
Это РГМ, детка, РГМ. Как вообще это вышло? Это РГМ, детка.
Ace is high.
Ace is high?
The Ace is High, a custom invented by the aerostatic brigades during the revolution, is used to celebrate success in Revachol, especially in sports. The gesture is spread across the world, despite the defeat of the revolutionaries themselves.
Ударить по ладони. Тыщ.
The lieutenant takes a little hop to perform the customary salutation. Your palm hurts from the slap. It's precise and down to the point.
I knew these guys were f***ed.
Что теперь?
We will perform a field autopsy and determine the cause of death. But before... Excuse me.
Slumped on the ground like that has not improved the way the corpse smells. The fall seems to have released something deep inside it.
It looks like I feel like taking a break from the stench. I'm sorry to interrupt the jubilations here. Just a little breather before we do the autopsy.
Погоди, к наружному осмотру?
Yes, the 4 phases of a murder scene. 1. Investigation of the scene. I'm satisfied with that part. The trash container, the prints, we've been thorough enough. 2. Initial examination of the victim. We were pretty good in our efforts, and the autopsy will provide another chance.
Pretty good? То есть недостаточно? Можно было лучше? У меня вроде все проверки прошли.
3. Field autopsy. This will not be pleasant or easy, and it will have to be performed on the scene.
На месте
The
преступления.
fuck are they on about?
Cops are gonna cut his shit up next.
4 and final, transport of the coroner's case to the district morgue. I'll do that. God, it stinks.
А у нас нет специалиста, который может заняться наружным осмотром врача какого-нибудь, ну правда.
No, you and I are detectives. The honorary rank of detective signifies our ability to handle the entire incident chain. From crime scene to autopsy to cleanup, we do it all.
Почетное звание.
An honor and a burden attached to your rank. Mine is lieutenant detective, unfortunately. I can't tell you how tired I am of this corpse.
He is growing truly tired of it. It's not merely moodiness. His tolerance limit is near.
With shooting like that? Of course you are. Your station would not have assigned you to this case otherwise.
Потрясающе.
I would suggest we interview Everhart and Joyce, the leader of the union and the Wild Pines rep. But we've already done that, so it's up to you, detective. Take us where we need to be.
He trusts you have plenty of things in a task chain lined up.
Ух. Ну, для начала посейвиться. Что у нас тут? Может, надо было потом снять. Иначе тапки не дадут снять.
And it still kind of looks like a map of gone. For you, someone close to the victim might know.
Мгм. Национальная гордость. Пилотское приветствие. Что у меня там написано? У меня еще нет, 5. 5 свободных. У меня только 3 записано. Абрикосовая жвачка. Угу. Энциклопедия или логика? Энциклопедия может с тетей поговорить. Но она все равно пускай будет, потому что это то, что дальше уже не качается. Угу. Как же это прокачать?
Fuck does Kuno care? The fuck do you want with it? Oh, that? Kuno decapitates pigs. That's too brutal for you, huh? Kuno, fuck your tongue off. Why are you fucking on yourself in front of... Good call, Pigmeister. The fuck about it?
Где остальная его броня?
Kuno doesn't give a shit about the armor.
Как так?
Kuno's fuck gimp's got one big thing wrong with him. He's a
Почему?
fucking... Look at him. Fucking growth hormone shit. He's a giant. The armor's too big for any man. Kuno doesn't give a shit about that freak armor. Kuno threw that shit away.
Oh, come on. He's just pretending that he doesn't care because he's too small for the armor.
Что значит выбросил?
Kuno tried to get the helmet on. It was too big. Kuno kicked that shit in the sea, rugby style. That shit means nothing to Kuno. Yeah, that shit means nothing to Kuno. Kuno doesn't give a shit about material shit. Kuno's a fucking monk. You wanna fuck on someone about that armor? Go fuck the mustached union fuck. The jolly troubadour shit at the gate.
Этот, который Маньяна, что ли?
Yeah, cock in boot. You know that jolly union cow fucker? Came around talking about cows or some shit? Came around pretending like he cares about cows?
Yes, you met him at the gates. The one with the boots and the jolly smile.
Yeah, he's the one you want to talk to. He's fucking crazy about that armor shit. Coming here pretending like he likes cows. Trying to catch a peep at Kuno's armor.
Yes, this troubadour has it. You can feel it.
У него по всему телу контузия. Твоих рук дело?
Fuck are you talking about? What is this contusion shit?
He says you're stupid, Kuno. They want to make you stupid again.
Oh, did Kuno make your shit sniffing harder? Obstruction of shit sniffing? This is Kuno's kingdom. Kuno fucking rules here.
You hear the lieutenant hum.
Kuno's
End of conversation.
probably climb. You heard Kuno. I don't know. Mesco.
There is no night city anywhere. That sounds like the name of a city in some pulp science fiction novel.
Why you gotta be riding Kuno's ass? You haven't been where Kuno's been. You wanna know where Kuno was? You wanna...
Oh, don't tell him that, Kuno. It's lame.
It's not fucking lame. Kuno's building Kuno's city. Night City, Rage City, the City of Rage. That's it, and it's not lame.
Lame.
That's the name of Kuno's city, bitch. Get the fuck off Kuno's back. This shit ain't about that. Just a couple of pigs sniffing around in the dip.
Yeah, you tell the faggoty Kuno.
Your test.
Get lost.
Yeah? The kingdom of Kuno? The fuck do you want with it? The fuck? A mug in the trash? Is this about the fucking clothes again? Yeah?
I can't eat.
Shit.
The kid may have
Kuno doesn't know.
Stop turning.
Yeah? Get your bacon shit away. Kuno doesn't. Look at that. Fuck does.
the lieutenant.
It's a trap.
Yeah,
Так,
whatever.
ничего нового.
Kuno doesn't give a shit. Kuno doesn't.
What do you see?
Так, ну мы все тут вроде изучили.
I'll die before I squeal, pig. Stay away.
Ну, понятно. Попробуем осмотреть тело. Правда, можно это сделать и без него.
The rotting man lies on his side with his eyes looking straight through you. The belt is still around his neck. His body is supine and open to intrusion by autopsy. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Во-первых, что такое наружный осмотр?
Come on, officer. You know what a field autopsy is. You've done 100 of them.
What you do know is, at 18.9 kilometers, the dormant shield volcano, Corpus Mundi, is the world's highest summit, and the failure of the 38 single, Epui Descent, to crack the top 20 was the death knell of disco.
Внезапный
But
вброс
what the field
рандомных
autopsy
знаний.
is, you have no idea. You must have me confused with the Copperpedia. You, sir, you are the Copperpedia.
Все-таки непонятно, как вот это прокачать. Видимо, никак. Так, сейчас. Ну, видимо, никак.
There truly is a time for everything, even for yellow gardening gloves. However, they are lacking hygienically. I suggest you get in there in limited capacity. I'll ask you when I need you to. For the most part, maybe I should handle the contact and you take notes? That's right.
You knew it because you inspected your ledger. The lieutenant is relieved you know the protocol.
Так, ну, хорошо. Если я сниму.
The rotting man, the lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes.
Come on, if it...
What you do know is, at 18.9 kilometers, the dormant shield volcano, Corpus.
Unfortunately, no. They are better than nothing. Tell you what, I performed the anatomy. That's right.
You knew it because you inspected your ledger. The dead man stares in silence as you crack open the ledger. The bright red paper is covered in boxes and lists, describing the condition of his skin and organs in 3 parts. Above those, an 11-field info form needs filling out first. It begins with,
That's you.
the corpse is indifferent to your scribblings, just lies there.
KK57. That. Next. NA. Next. NA. Roughly 50.
Dry 40. The damage is so extensive, it's better to err on the young side. He nods.
Mondial. Subgroup Occidental. As per your observation.
The pudgy mess looks neither mondial nor occidental. It does. As you read it, you think, that leaves out dark-haired Mesk, Sal, Sarah Mauritian, Kedratic. Lighter-skinned occidental means this man could be a solid guess, Mr. Racial Profiler. Also of note, your unconscious racial profiling machine ruled out Messinian before. Despite all the Copperoonies and Kobos, that leads Vespertine or Oranese.
Fucky!
Дети, конечно, тут лишние, это точно.
Male.
Pigs can have sex!
Nor does he look male, with his pregnant belly and indistinguishable face.
We're still going with March 4th. 51. What else? 9. Body identified by is non-applicable. 10. Case number is the same as the coroner's case.
KK57 0503 0815 listens motionless with
None. At least not after the initial examination.
a strange word, treatment.
Interfering with the body's position or wounds post-mortem.
How did you not know that? Aren't you a cop? You're leaving a weak imprint. Don't overdo it. It's okay to be unsure.
Не делать выводов.
They'd have to have incapacitated and carried him over. This man was more than a match for untrained dogwalkers.
Your central nervous system recognizes this gesture. It's the stations of the breath. Ecclesiastic, religious in nature, a holdout from pre-DeLorean burial rites. It takes him 2 seconds to perform. Somewhere in Jamrock North, a small wood shed behind Rosencrantz Row, Lieutenant Nick Feuerbach puts his hand to the chest of a small corpse, no larger than a monkey. It's raining outside, light drizzle. There is darkness in the shed. Elsewhere yet, an obese female sits in a wicker chair, her silhouette bull-like against the window. Outside, Grand Coudon. The day is turning dim for Sergeant Mac Dawson. Hand extended, he approaches, to make sure she is dead more than anything else.
Что там за слово интересное такое было? Elsewhere, это понятно. Wicker. Так. Бумажка. Wicker chair. Ну, силуэт понятно. Ball-like against the window. An obese female. Так, дальше. Континуем.
The building is tall, 7 stories wind-wrapped in solitude. Most of the apartments are unoccupied. This was a suicide. The other, an accident. The small one. And so, all across Jamrock, Coal City, GRIH, 42 deceased persons found today. 42 stations of breath.
We should start the post-mortem.
The corpse cannot feel Kim's hand on his chest. It no longer meaningfully interacts with its surroundings. A thicket of boxes and lists on red copier paper tries to answer why.
Clothes. The deceased wears armored boots and white briefs. The make of the briefs is Babrodine, I think. Let's see.
See, it's happening.
Babrodine, yes. Inexpensive. Size M. Color white.
The disappointment is palpable. The red-haired thing was expecting something more lurid.
Чего там? More lurid. О, чего там? Буквально. Disappointed is all payable. All payable thing. Ее зовут чудовище. Тут рыжее чудовище, а тут просто оно. Красноволосое оно.
The boots are ceramic, vitreous enamel. They are fused to his skin from blood flowing downward post-mortem. Removal of the boots is left for processing.
Left for processing, то есть мне уже ботинки не дадут снять. По идее, надо было его отправить спать и тапки снять.
Patience. After the autopsy, before the body is taken away, there will be a window of opportunity. After the lieutenant has gone to sleep. I hope this has helped you, my liege.
My liege? My liege. Так, пишем. Liege.
Tattoos. The upper torso is covered in a single, continuous tattoo, resembling a map of the night sky. It reaches from the right shoulder to the heart. The ink is blue and white. The assistant has a color photograph of the markings, to be added to the case files as document A1. The photo is taken on the scene, using a Trigat Mini. The deceased has a cargo lashing belt around his neck, tied with a hangman's knot. Color yellow. Length 3 meters. There is a buckle on the other end.
Так, ничего нет на изучение. Надо ячейку, ячейки нет.
Well nourished, athletically built, measuring 1.8 meters. Generally consistent with age 42. Preservation is good. Ambient temperature below freezing.
Preservation. Ambient temperature below freezing. Well nourished. No. Athletically built measuring.
Body hair is light brown. Distribution is consistent with age. The deceased had male pattern baldness. Hair is combed back, short.
His hair feels wet, soaked with rain, cold to touch, not that different from a living person after a swim. The stench is suffocating. Strands of dark brown hair start sticking to your hand, like thread off a red doll's head. More hair sticks to your hand. Hair off the... There, dead man. You were someone's child. It's all over now. The lieutenant watches you in silence.
That was some sick shit, Sekopa.
Да, уж это точно.
Lividity is consistent with hanging. The head is congested. Contusions are present on the head, chest, and thighs, consistent with stones thrown. Low velocity.
Fucking low velocity? You think Kuno doesn't know what you're talking about? Velocity was fucking max. Talking shit about Kuno's velocity.
In addition, there are bite marks on the face, scalp, and chest, consistent with predation. Ligature mark.
Странгуляционная борозда, ну в смысле та, которая лигатура, лигатур марк. Produce a small folding knife. Что там? Достает маленький складной нож. Folding. He started cutting into the polyester. The stretch is horrid. Stench. Вонь. Is horrid. After a while, it's obvious the material cannot be cut. Странгулирующая борозда, ну в смысле та, которая его душила.
The steel wiring There's too much of it. We need to remove the belt so we can get to the ligature mark.
Тут по-прежнему лигатюр марк.
You got just the right tool for that. The chain cutters.
Достать болторез с прорезиненными ручками. Хорошо, что у нас есть этот болторез. О, да, я готов. Окей.
The hanged man lets out a joyous little bubble of rot from his nose.
Always good to think ahead. Now... we need to cut the belt to see the ligature mark below. Carefully.
See? My pig is gonna fuck his head off.
No, he ain't. Your pig's a boring fuck.
Господи. Блин, надо было сохраниться. Это очень плохо. Это красная проверка.
The belt is equally tight around the whole circumference of his neck, swelling over the edges like white bread rising from the east. You jam the cutters right under the knot. That seems like a smart idea. A really, really bad smell is coming from there now. And
Yeah!
Told you,
I should have a go first. I think I have a strategy. His head, yeah.
yes, that's snap. The knot is slashed. Another cut and the belt falls apart.
Кошмар. Ладно. Лодинг.
The rotting man, the lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
А что там было? Грубая сила? Все понятно. Сейчас. Уйти.
The rotting man, the lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Come on.
What you do know is, at 18.9 kilometers, you must have me you, sir.
There truly is a time for everything, even for yellow gardening gloves. However, they are lacking hygienically. I mean when I need... That's right.
You knew it because you inspected your ledger. The lieutenant is relieved you know the protocol.
Shoot, Looney Rooney. Huh? You're misquoting me, Rooney. I come back later, Corporal.
The dead man stared. Above those, and 11.
That's you.
The corpse.
KK. Next. NA.
Dry 40. The damage is so extensive, it's better to...
Mondial.
The pudgy mess. As you read it, you a solid guess. Also of note.
Male.
pigs can have sex.
Nor does
We're still going with March 4th. 51. What else?
KK.
None.
A strange word.
Interfering with...
Don't overdo it. It's okay to be unsure.
They'd have...
Your central... Some elsewhere. The build and so.
We should start.
The corpse cannot feel Kim's hand.
Так, сохраняемся еще раз. чтобы было попроще.
The rotting
Прикольче.
man. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Clothes. Babrudi.
The disappointment is
The boots are ceramic. Vitriol.
patience.
Tattoos. The operator. The assistant had the deceased, well nourished. Body hair is light brown. Distribute.
The hair under your... The stench is suffering. More hair. There. The lieutenant watches you.
That was some
Fucking talking shit.
In addition, there are ligature marks. The steel wire.
You got just the right tool for that. The hanged man.
Always good to. We need to cut the belt.
See, my big.
Ну
No, he
вот.
ain't. Your pigs are boring.
The belt is equally tight around the whole circumference of his neck, swelling over the
Успех
edges
12.
like white bread rising from the east.
Успех 12, провал 2. У меня 72%. Ну-ка.
After
Yes!
some deliberation, you sink the cutters into the knot tying the belt together. You squeeze the rubber handles together, sweat forming on your brow.
Игральные кости какие-то. Все время решают. Может быть, надо все купить игральные кости.
Snap! The knot is slashed. Another cut and the belt falls apart like a flower bouquet.
The rope rises to a point, leaving a gap in the ligature mark. The suspension point is in the back of the neck.
As it ought to. This is where its grip on the curdled meat.
Hemorrhaging is observed on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. The mark is well pronounced, consistent with a drop from 1 or 1.5 meters.
Ну, то есть его с портовой вот этой вот двери, с ворот, получается, скинули.
Chest is intact, normal contour. Abdomen is protuberant, pelvis intact. Genitalia.
No! It's gonna happen, see!
Внезапно.
I fucking knew it!
This is clearly what they've been waiting for, ever since the autopsy began. The lieutenant is trying to make it as boring as possible.
Genitalia is male and unremarkable. No evidence of injury. Ah yes, your hunch before. We can have a semen analysis requested from processing, if that's what you meant.
Да, лаборатория наука или это крыша. Пускай будет наука.
Just right.
The corpse with his pants down does not have an opinion on the subject. All he has is genital. The dead man's penis is average-sized, congested from the downward collection of blood. The testicles are uneven in length, hanging underneath. The genitalia is greenish. Marbling is present around the crotch.
Потрясающе.
Back is symmetrical and intact. Upper and lower extremities are intact, but asymmetrical. There are combat injuries on the right hand, thigh, and hip.
Боевые ранения на правой руке и в верхней и нижней части бедер.
Bullets have bitten little pieces out of him. It must have been excruciating, especially the hip. Before you is a temple of pain that knew little tenderness in life.
In addition, I see smaller, residual scars, too numerous to count, covering about 30% of his skin.
From wounds sustained over 2, maybe more decades, dispersal and accumulation indicates long and active combat duty.
Еле-еле. Визуальный анализ все-таки тоже нужен.
Last item, hands.
His flesh is cold.
Pleased to meet you. Where are you from and what's your name? I'm only fucking with you. I know where you're from. From Cappadocia. And your name is Il Kobo. You get me, Kobo. I feel like you were once, for tenderness and kisses yourself, but then shit went south and now you're ahead of even me on the pain front. We should do this more often. Be close like this, I mean.
Hands are clean. No sign of injury from struggling. I was. Maybe I'm just not seeing them. Honestly, the stench is making it hard for me to think at the moment. Ooh. That's all for the external. Well done. What next?
Сохраняемся. Вдруг
The
опять
rotting man
что-нибудь.
lies on his side with his eye. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Давайте.
Central nervous system. I have nothing. Do you have anything on this man's central nervous system?
You don't even have a joke.
Неудача концептуализации. Ну, значит, на концептуализацию сейчас переоденемся.
The rotting man, the lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Central nervous...
Of course, there is a moral to be drawn from it. A moral to this story.
What would that be?
The dead man looks, too, with barely contained excitement to hear the moral of his story.
I think that may well be the moral of every story, officer. Good. Musculoskeletal. Purge fluid is coming from the mouth. Not injury related. Eyes and tongue protuberant. Hyoid bone. Let's see.
Так, а протуберанция это что? Eyes and tongue are protuberant. Так, пишем. Protuberant. Mouth. Squinting eyes. We waiting, что бы это ни значило. Hyoid. Опухли. Eyes. Щуря глаза.
With his eyes almost closed, the lieutenant puts his hand on the dead man's throat and begins to massage it, gently. A rotting smell erupts from the mouth. Purge fluid runs down his lips, black and viscous. You hear cracks as the lieutenant moves his sharp fingers inside the flesh, like the creaking of an old house at night.
Yeah, jack that fucker off!
The hyoid bone is fractured. The rest of the musculoskeletal system is intact. Unremarkable. Respiratory system.
Согнув спину, будто в молитве, начинает раздвигать челюсти мертвеца. Затем делает паузу, напрягает обе руки.
Oral cavity shows no lesions. The victim has received dental implants, possibly after a combat wound. Mouth swollen. Hemorrhaging present in mucosa of the lips and mouth.
From here, it looks as though the clown-faced man is screaming. The tendons of his jaw are torn apart. Hyoid, ripped from the force of the lieutenant's hands. No scream, no sigh of relief rises from the darkness inside. It's humid there, sickly sweet air, unlike anything living. You feel like you're about to throw up again, straight in that mouth of his. No, you don't. You can keep it in. You can keep anything in. You manage to suppress the contractions trying to enter your stomach. All it takes is concentration. Through it, you see nothing but darkness. More meat and darkness.
There are ancient mysteries down there, Kobo. Ask me later.
Господи.
Hemorrhaging present in mucus. Hepatobiliary, NA. Are you a hepatobiliary expert? Neither am I. That's it. Same for toxicology and serology, NA. Unless you have untapped reservoirs of knowledge there?
Сторонник стопроцентного прохождения, во мне интересуется, нельзя ли еще что-нибудь сделать. Да, это я.
We already have one test as per regulation, and we already requested semen.
А кто об этом знал? Что можно было еще что-то взять?
Pigs requested semen like it's no big deal.
I'm not even interested in these boring mulkus anymore. I haven't sucked him off or anything.
А может, можем мы выбрать вместо этого токсикологический анализ? Это кажется логичнее.
At a
Да.
request, then, we'll know if drugs or poisons remain in his blood. At this stage, I doubt processing will find anything, even if he was brimming with it. Cardiovascular. The body exhibits heavy lividity. Blood has gathered in the hands, feet, and neck. Hypostasis is visually consistent with the hanging. Gastrointestinal. Digested semi-solid food in stomach. Voila. What's next on the list?
Shoot, Looney Rooney. Oh yes, Kobo me Lobo. In the gift horse's mouth. Track just a small gulp away. Oh yeah, it's all right. Come back later.
Так. Вторая заполнена.
The rotting man lies on his... The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep
Ну и
breath.
последний.
Let's see. We have bite marks, contusions on the head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling the neck. You'll need 3 fills. Leave a 4th one too.
А для чего четвертый?
Nothing. Just in case. Head, chest, and scalp bite mark injuries. Predation by birds has caused damage to the body. Odontologist does not need to be consulted. And your opinion, officer?
От чего? В которых нужно поставить отметку. Предварительное заключение является причиной смерти. Не является причиной смерти. Травма нанесена посмертно. На голове имеются следы укусов, ну да, птички. Не является посмертной.
Agreed. Next injury?
Кровоподтеки.
So, the scalp bleeds from a post-mortem head injury, a stone. The injury does not have the rim of an early inflammatory response. The perpetrator on the scene has confessed to causing it post-mortem.
Нарушитель это.
At maximum velocity, fucko!
Has confessed to causing it at maximum velocity.
Coagulated
Записать.
blood sticks to his scalp and chest, where the countless stones have hit the dead man. Beneath, the description of injury. 2
Не.
boxes.
Не является причиной смерти. Травма нанесена посмертно.
Right. Next.
Ну и последнее.
A dark red abraded ligature mark encircling the neck, with a gap on the nape measuring, let's say, 7 centimeters. The hyoid bone is fractured, the cervical column intact. I see hemorrhaging on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. Depth of the mark, 1 centimeter. No signs of clawing on the neck.
Below the note, 2 customary boxes wait to be ticked. The man's head jerks to the side. The ring around his neck is visible.
Так, темно-красная странгулирующая борозда вокруг шеи. Обычно синяки, с которой кровь не сворачивается, это уже после того, как подъязычная кость раздроблена, шейный и позвоночник отдел не поврежден. То есть ему шею не сломал. Обычно, когда человека вешают, у него шея ломается в первую очередь. Именно поэтому он помирает. Все остальное это как бы последствия. Может, его, конечно, и задушили, но точно не сломали шею. Нет.
He is deep in thought, eyes fixed on the bright red ring around the dead man's neck.
Why do you say that?
Я серьезно думаю, он умер не от этого. Ну да.
Okay. Why don't you think it was fatal?
Я не могу избавиться от ощущения, что в момент смерти он был чем-то занят. Почему у него не были связаны руки? Такой здоровяк, я бы связал его, прежде чем вести на виселицу. Ну, с экстрасенсорной способности, наверное, нет. Чем-то занят, он опять намекает на то, что он там занимался самоудовлетворением. Безо всякой причины нам не подходит.
Honestly, I'm not sure there weren't marks on his wrist. That part got blurry for me. The stench. But you are right, I was ready to call this. Now I think we should leave it empty, at least for the time being. Let's wrap this up. I pronounce this field autopsy over. It was an irregular field autopsy. We did not establish cause of death, which is supposed to be the goal of an autopsy. But personally, I do not see this as a parameter for success. We requested a test to be run on the genitals. That was the règle. The results should arrive in a couple of weeks if we are lucky. I will not hold my breath. Then, given the state of decay here, I consider establishing the victim's ethnicity a minor success. We were thorough with the list of injuries too. We described them all in detail. What is there to say? Given the circumstances, it was a professional field autopsy.
Oh yeah, well done, Master Detective. Maybe a drink is in order?
Now, you see, that worries me. You will die if you drink. You know that, don't you? You are proving a useful detective. The organization would miss you.
Please get yourself together, the lieutenant from Precinct 57 thinks.
I need a copy of that autopsy form. Then I will drive him to Faubourg. For processing.
He's thinking, did I miss something? You tilt your head, also looking at the... I'm sure we didn't get everything. There's always something.
58 не самый плохой. Сейчас сохранимся. Так, что там? Карта. Хотя я вроде на токсикологию изменила анализ.
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Восприятие. Восприятие. А у меня на восприятие, по-моему, нет ничего.
You run your The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath. You run your The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath. You run.
58 же, это же много. Чтобы еще такое качнуть. Почти он 7.
Does Kuno care? The fuck about it? Your test.
Get lost.
Yeah? The kingdom of. Yeah, whatever. Kuno does.
I'll die before I
The tracks are as they have ever been. A bit more worn, perhaps.
И этот пропал, ну, видимо, уже ночью. Уже почти дома.
The unpromising race pupil returns.
А я типа не смотрела фотографию, что ли? Почему он ее не предлагает?
It still kind of looks.
Смотрела. Странно.
The unpromising race pupil racist.
Welcome to Revachol. The drawings are precise and look true to their pseudo-scientific ambitions. One thing, however, it is not entirely free of throwbacks in the phylogenetic tree. His large jaw.
That atavistic.
Babe.
You have him off guard now. He's preoccupied with his situation with his woman. Welcome. The drawings are precise.
Your ear.
Yes.
Welcome. The drawings are precise and look true to their pseudo-scientific ambitions.
That...
Babe.
You have him off guard now. He's preoccupied with his situation with his woman.
I am not the heart. Now leave me be.
I think
That will be the...
he will grant us.
Your pedo.
The lieutenant.
You should keep him close. The congenital.
Так, опыта не дали.
The file cabinet stands steady. Hundreds and the same material. You already went. The drawer slides shut. The payphone hangs mutely. Lorry stuck. The window. Fumes of heavy fuel oil waft over you. The woman looks at nothing. Her eyes closed and her lips moving.
Huh? What is it? What do you want? And what is that?
Great. Fine then. Just try not to black out again. And don't contemplate. We don't have time for that. Exactly what I did.
Nothing.
Republica. A filterless cigarette from Mesk.
Like Gabriel, the smell of the look on her face. Her raw thoughts. When you've seen it, what are we doing here? For thousands of years, Gabriel. Yes. They say it's a point. Maybe you've been... It's a story and dark. No one knows. I've only felt it in the distance.
There is... She is receding.
You fried... Let's get some air.
Это ничего нового.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and...
This is Precinct 57.
Her voice is...
Gottlieb, what? You want the...
So it's political. You're being neglected because of political reasons. The money...
And now...
It's not fucking crap.
Anything else like 57?
In the cabin.
Не хватает.
The dented yellow mailbox.
Ouch.
There is a... Your toe.
Cool. You really showed that mail collection box.
The lieutenant. The dented yellow... The mail collection box.
Ничего.
Hello again, officers. I ain't no...
Actually,
We weren't put on this earth to make your life pleasant, fucko.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? That's the man who was killed. I'm afraid this is a discussion for once we've cleared the lynching question. Better not...
She wants to answer the question.
That's the man who was killed. I'm better not...
She wants to answer the question.
More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part... Glad to have been of assistance. On the contrary.
They must have someone in an overlooked position.
I suggest you go back and canvass for more suspects. What we do, the Pines, and that is the...
The Wild Pines Group is one of the original Revacholian Indo tribes. Companies awarded royal monopolies by the king, the suzerain himself, centuries ago. The king is long gone, but several of the Indo tribes remain. Son Baptiste, Elysium, an unknown entity.
Why, thank you. I'm not at liberty.
A billion?
Блин, не хватает.
20 billion. A conglomerate the size of the Wild Pines is like a shark. If it stops moving, it will die. You know more than you let on. Certainly it helped, but most of the original Indo tribe, they started. Centuries of care, deliberation, and madness have gone into this. You mean aside from being the terminal's legal owners? There are no...
With your help, hopefully, says her warm tone.
Про деньги, реплики нет. Нет реплики. И мне энциклопедия дальше не позволяет у нее спросить. И дальше не качается. Так, а что я могу сделать? Ничего. Зеркало опасно. Грубая сила у нас не качается. Плащ полицейскую я уже забрала. Почему она не попадает? Значит, будем пробовать, пока не получится.
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath. You run. The janitor.
Do you think
you can't shake the feeling that there are more secrets concealed in the flesh before you?
Okay, well, we are in livor mortis here. He is disintegrating. We need to refrigerate the body if we want to conduct another examination, and we need to do it fast. Hey, wasn't there a giant iceberg?
Why, yes there was. It was massive. Red eyes glow.
Yes, let's move. With every hour, whatever we are looking.
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Ну, давайте попробуем тогда, что тут.
I thought we decided to leave it to processing. Let's not turn this into... If you think I need a little help for carrying him to the holding pen of my kinema.
There go those...
Continue working here. The locals, the case...
This means Lieutenant Kisuragi will leave the party until tomorrow morning. You're free to do side tasks and even the main case, though it might be more difficult. If you have nothing to do, read books or sit on the bed.
Он уехал. Он реально уехал? Нет. Загрузить.
The man is decomposing visibly now. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath. Your arm reaches out and your eyes close, as if by their own volition. It's dark. His face, his cheeks, his nose, his fat, swollen lips. Like a rubber spider, your gloved hand crawls on his features. Everything is silent, all around.
Сжать ему нос, засунуть пальцы в рот. Сжать ему нос, ноздри.
They are swollen shut. You need to really push to get in. Only the little one fits. The flesh changes shape as you bore in, searching for something.
The fuck is he doing?
The thing you're looking for, it's not there. Crawl out, spider. They are swollen. You're not far.
Ew.
The oral cavity is cold and moist. A ball-like tongue attaches itself to the base of the mouth. You're on the right track. The tongue moves freely in the cavity. The mucus of the mouth is slipping. Can you feel it? You're so close. Rip his jaws open now. Look in. A vision of black and dark red death, pried open by your hands, and you see a hole, barely visible to the human eye. It is swollen shut, almost vanished. No larger than 0.4 centimeters in radius, the edges appear darkened. An abrasion collar. This is what we're after.
Что за поясок? Abrasion.
Abrasion collar.
Kuno is silent. A black trickle of liquid runs into his throat from the wound. Your index fits right in there. A tight tunnel of flesh opens up. Tissue damage. Wide enough for 2 fingers. As you push both in, you reach through his mouth, right into his brainstem.
The fuck is happening?
Ah, shit, see?
The basal ganglia feels clumpy. What entered here has torn apart his reptilian complex. This man will never sleep again, never wake. Your yellow fingers slide into the remains of the limbic system. There is no resistance. It's gelatinous. The slug-like structures are damaged too. The undulations of the limbic system have ended. All is quiet. The lieutenant answers with the sound of his pen on paper.
Fucking cavity, see?
Quivering with awe. Your fingers are all the way in now, reaching toward the inside of his skull. The cavity goes further, but the entry wound isn't wide enough for the rest of your hand to follow.
Что происходит?
All the muscles in your body harden. Time to enter him. Your fingers reach toward his skull. His cerebral cortex feels like jelly. Cold jelly. Ice cold serrated metal. Its edges cut right through the latex and into your finger. The pain is barely noticeable under the adrenaline rush. There's a tiny crack, a protrusion in the cranium, right in the back of his head. Your finger must be pointing straight at it. From the object that is in there stops just short of the skull, in the encephalus, knocking this tiny fracture into the cranium.
We have the makings of a very small exit wound here.
Forget about the fucking exit wound, Beano. The pig is wearing him like a fuck puppet.
Her voice is absolutely sizzling with excitement.
А когда я не подвел-то? На что это влияет?
Can you get to it?
92% это много. Давай. Техника 3, не подведи. Я в перчатках еще. Да как? Как? О, боже.
Push your hand further in. Whatever is in there keeps out comes his small folding knife. The lieutenant moves its blade across the
Ah, yeah.
With a crack, he punches the knife.
Can you push it out?
A small flower of metal blossoms.
A bullet.
A bullet. Train, блин. Ну хорошо, техника 3. У меня ничего нету для техники.
The man is
92%.
decomposing.
Как?
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath. Your arm reaches. His face, his cheeks, his nose, his fat, swollen lips. Like you pick it between your fingers. The mess is even larger than your nose. Very. The oral, you're on the right track. The tongue, can you feel a vision? You see an abrasion collar. This is what we're after.
Abrasion.
Kuno is a black trick. Your index.
The fucking. Ah, shit, see?
Yes, you've seen the drawings. The basal, this man will never sleep. Your yellow, the undulations of the limbic system. The lieutenant,
Fucking.
quivering your fingers. All the muscles in your body. Your fingers ice cold. The pain is barely no. There's the object.
We have the...
Forget about the...
Her voice is absolutely sizzling.
Can you get to it?
Ну, пожалуйста. Да!
You pick the object between your index and middle finger. Feels sharp, like metal. You press your teeth together. Your jaw is clenched. All you need to do is just... The inside of the head feels cold and smooth, like a glove. Sweat dripping down your brow. Careful not to lose the prize between your fingers. With a plop, your hand emerges from the mouth. The garden glove is covered in blood right up to the wrist. Between your fingers, a small flower. A blossom made of lead.
Made of what? Made of lead. Говорят, по идее... Нет.
Fucking beautiful!
A bullet.
The bullet falls in the bag, leaving a smattering of blood on the plastic. He raises the bag under his eyes and says,
A non-caliber. Rifled. Some kind of brittle alloy. Fractured on impact. Of course, you deserve it. We need to add an item to the injury list. Injury number 4. Oval entry wound with an abrasion collar. Soft palate, back of mouth.
Да что за abrasion collar? Мне кажется, это какой-то... Что, рана обугленная. Collar — это ошейник. Abrasion collar. Collar.
High velocity. Temporary cavity in brain tissue. Small exit wound on the occiput. How does that sound? Opinion, fatal injury. We have extensive tissue destruction away from the wound track. We have a bullet.
Согласен.
And one last thing. We can now fill in injury number 3. Ligament mark. Opinion non-fatal. Post-mortem. Treatment.
Последняя ручка. Надо внести описание повреждений.
As I said, treatment is an attempt to manipulate the body after death, to hide this injury here. Yes, and the belt around his neck, the hanging, even dragging him to the yard. All of it was done after this man was already dead. I did not just come up with this. I've had my doubts since you showed me the tracks, officer. Why did they carry him over? Why not march him? There is no satisfactory explanation. There have been other signs too. Small things. We were right not to assign hanging as cause of death. as the perpetrators expected we would. No such luck for them.
Perpetrators. 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 Expected.
We didn't fall for it, he thinks. There's pride in there.
That's for us to find out. But this, it will make finding them just a little easier. To hide something. The real killer, the real motivation, what really happened here. Oh, you really do. I am glad to hear you say that. Your room in the Whirling in Rags should come with a bathroom. Be sure to make use of it in the evening. Yes, we should take a closer look at it. I am certain it has more to tell us.
This little thing could reveal much about the weapon that shot it.
We bag the corpse and carry him to the holding pen of my kinema. I can transport him to processing myself, but I will be gone for the rest of the work on the case. Tend to personal matters. Try not to do anything too dangerous. An officer needs backup in a neighborhood like this. I'll leave that choice to you. And one more thing. Great work, detective.
The word lingers in the air of the yard. Far away, dogs are barking. Further yet, the sound of motor traffic. Detective.
Detective. Yes, that's me.
After you bag the corpse, Lieutenant Kitsuragi will leave the party until tomorrow morning. You can do side tasks and even the main case, but it might be more difficult. Plan his exit accordingly.
Надо как-то его отвезти спать и снять ботинки. Правда, если бы я его в морозилку положила, было бы проще. Так, я сохранюсь. Ну что, крутые у вас копы.
Necromancer pig. That shit was dark. Going in there like that. Oh, brutal shit. Tell me. Kuno dies. You're gonna pick one out of his brain like that too? Kuno's gonna go out in a hail of bullets. Gonna look like a fucking porcupine.
Porta Rosa, a side alley of the Boogie Street Spearhead. A young man in his early 20s approaches patrol officer Emile Mullins and asks for a cigarette. As Officer Mullins reaches in his coat pocket for the pack of Astra, the man shoots him point blank in his chest. Breathless, the patrol officer collapses in the gutter. His right hand is grabbing the armor on his chest. The bullet didn't pierce it, but he can't breathe. On the pavement, the patter of the perpetrator's feet growing distant. Bleed, pig, someone opens a window and says, but Emile cannot see who. His sight grows dim with pain.
Yeah.
Интересно, на что это повлияет.
The fuck do you want with it? Good call, Pigmeister. The fuck about it? Kuno's...
End of conversation. Very...
Probably... You heard Kuno. I don't know. Mesco.
There is no Night City anywhere.
Yeah. Kuno didn't just a couple...
Yeah, you tell the faggoty, Kuno.
Your
Get lost,
Yeah. The kingdom of... Yeah, whatever. Kuno doesn't give a shit. Kuno doesn't...
Что это у нас такое? А пуля?
The bullet is safe. Beside his orderly handwriting, the bullet looks especially sad, like a tiny, shriveled head of cauliflower.
Капуста. Цветная капуста. Cauliflower.
What? Well, if I was the bullet, which I'm not, I would say, find the weapon that shot me. If we find who owns it, we will have likely found who used it, possibly to kill our victim.
Сейчас окажется, что это наше.
In conclusion, the
Хотя
more
он
we
его не
know about this
определил.
bullet of yours, the better.
The squashed bullet has some sharp edges where the jacket has split open. It feels cold. Even you wouldn't ordinarily have cause to handle jacketed bullets. The citizens' militia uses cast bullets only. Little pebbles of metal loaded from the muzzle, usually in a cartridge.
Что за muzzle? Muzzle. Loaded from the muzzle. Muzzle.
The jacket of the bullet is made of a yellowish metal. It has blossomed out to reveal a dark grey core. The base of the bullet is close to 5 millimeters in diameter. You can just about make out a few striations near the base of the bullet. It's quite destroyed. Some of the fragments are still lodged in the wound.
What can you say about the bullet so far? A jacketed bullet. Okay. It would have been shot from a military-grade breech-loading rifle, not from a muzzleloader like those typically found on the streets of Martinez.
Highly unusual. The people of Revachol haven't carried breech-loading weapons like this for nearly half a century.
Even the RCM uses ordinary unjacketed conical bullets. This is strange. Very strange. I like this, officer. Strange means unique. Unique means incriminating. We need to find the gun that shot it.
Something tells you that won't be any time soon. This'll have to be one of those epic tasks that's open for a while.
Блин, сейчас он мне опять это все сломает. Сохранить.
The bullet is still safely sealed away in a plastic bag bearing the RCM stamp. A rifle, revolutionary period. Your bullet looks to be an old 4.46 millimeter from the surplus left over from the turn of the century. Probably an antique or a retrofitted antique. The 4.46 caliber was widely used with the Belmargrave rifle, a Revacholian manufacturer. The BM dominated the battlefields of the Insulindian theater of the anti-centennial revolution 50 years ago. Incidentally, you have just such a rifle with you, the dusty old thing you found hidden in the basement below the commercial area. It's unusable, sadly. If it were, the bullet would probably fit the chamber.
Кто-то до сих пор производит эти винтовки?
No, but Zeliger, a major firearm manufacturer, ended up with a surplus after the war. So there are still a lot of these old military rifles floating around, usually broken. The quality was appalling. Antiques enthusiasts, guerrilla fighters in distant countries, a few lucky jamrock bangers. You're looking for the same thing you found in that hidden weapons cache, only in working order.
What are you thinking? Bullet? Okay, and? An antique. That makes sense. There can't be many breech-loading rifles floating around in Martinez, or anywhere in Revachol, really. Sure, there's some arms trafficking, but the laws prohibiting the use of breech loaders we inherited from the monarchy have been effective, from what I've seen. Some new RCM recruits get impatient with their muzzle loaders once they've trained with military-grade weapons, but they realize it's worth it in the end.
Prohibiting peacetime law enforcement to front-loaded rifles is a policy enforced by the Moralist International in all the nations of the Real Belt.
Imagine if everyone, cops, citizens, had access to firearms that could shoot multiple rounds without pausing to reload. After the first shot, the second, third, and so on come much easier. But back to the investigation.
Back to the investigation.
Let's find out. Next step, finding the gun itself. Okay. And? An antique. Sure, there's some new art.
Prohibiting peacetime law enforcement to front.
Imagine if every... But back to the investigation. Let's find out. Next step.
Видимо, опять к торговцу. Из ломбарда. Я стал супер среднячком, тыкая все подряд. Но многовато. Жалкий коп.
I'll die before I squeal. I'll die before I squeal, pig. I can't.
Don't be.
Ну ладно. Можно попробовать от напарника избавиться.
You see,
Ничего нового.
Can I help you?
Yes?
no response. A moment passes.
What about me? What do you mean? I have no...
The lieutenant, but this isn't an old school case.
So what? For real detective?
The lieutenant produced... That's where we all have our... You're super lucid. Yeah.
That's correct.
That makes him a Beano-clad.
Are they? That's because I'm half Seol. It's a part of...
Seol is a protectionist, isolationist, pan-Isolorist.
I can see your...
He's glad to have shut down your question.
No.
Your brain sends the signal to your lips, but they refuse the order. The eyebrow, it's like you're locked down.
Something...
This guy is nothing. You better hope he doesn't abuse his authority. Fortunately, the lieutenant relaxes his eyebrow, and you seem to regain control of yourself.
Good. Let's change the subject. Excuse me? You have a... I hope you don't... They say it's a scene-clearing technique developed by one of your lieutenants for gathering evidence. It's erratic, yet I don't know.
Passing along frivolous interdepartmental...
What do you want to know? What's there to say? The cop kind. Well, I think the dispatch...
So, he volunteered to represent the 57th, but not out of competitiveness. On the
Yes. Martinez.
A tremble comes over.
О боже. Варианты.
No. Oh no, it's local law enforcement solving one little homicide decides nothing. Not so.
He opens.
Which school do you subscribe to? Mambo or Jumbo? Mental illness. So, the 41st precinct sent you because you are the most mentally ill out of all the officers at your station? Then why did they send you?
He opens.
Which school do you subscribe? Mental illness. So, the 41st, of course. Yes, it's a wholly pointless matter.
He's actually glad it's addressed now.
Так, теперь можно.
Tremble. The time is now. Time for the show. For Taol Ulogu Theodos. Xeno Monday morning. The moment you arrived in this reality. Yes, you spoke the words of the Palindropos. And the houses. It's totally also a coping. So you perhaps. Just a thought. The face of the...
Так. Коп-апокалипсис. Хорошо, мысль мы открыли.
Yes?
Так, надо что-нибудь на логику одеть. Вот, 5. Уже приемлемо.
Yes?
Look at you. It's because you're a failure. They sent you to slight Precinct 57. Just think about it for a second. You're a raging alcoholic who showed up 3 days late and argues with his necktie. You weren't sent here to win.
I've considered it. I don't think I can say one way or another. I checked the records. This jurisdiction dispute, who polices Martinez, reaches back to the 30s. It's as old as my station. And all this time we can't decide who gets Martinez? I think, yes, both stations would prefer a win. I am the finest of nothing. Safe? No. But you're old. You've made it this far. Something has brought you through. We've only just started working together, so I don't know what it is yet. But it's there. So no, I don't think they sent you as a joke. And even if they did, they are in for a surprise.
He's right. There are no airtight theories. Just paranoia. You've given it some thought.
Так, ну, прошло неплохо. 20 денег у меня нет. Мне все еще нужно попасть в эту и помыться. Пароль я не знаю. Спать он не хочет. Угу.
Can I help you? Thanks. I hope you found what you were looking for. How strange. I certainly didn't put them there. Sylvie had the keys before I... The trash...
Ah,
On Clinton Street.
Thank you anyway.
I think fugue states are more your forte, officer. Yes? Got the 20 real?
Уже 20, а был вроде 22. Нет? Пока
And
нет.
why are you wasting... Another thing. Great. I love those. Yes?
The trash containers. The smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste.
Все равно я же ему ключ отдала.
The man is deep. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Shoot, Looney Rooney.
Так, ну тут мы вроде все спросили.
Come back.
This door is made of metal and appears to be no one.
Let's go. There's nothing to do.
No one.
Let's go.
Ну, понятно, даже не переспросить ни о чем.
The aging alcoholic is still there, breathing.
What is there to do? We could take... They don't do...
The pile of blankets grunts misery.
I'm afraid it...
And look, a groan rises from the...
Получается, нужно Киму отдать тело, потому что денег нет, чтобы открыть комнату.
Hello again, officers. Have you...
I ain't no...
Actually...
We weren't put on this...
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? On the contrary...
They must have some...
I suggest you go back and canvass until you come up with something at that intersection. I'm afraid the two...
Or not. Though, if you have evidence to...
As eager as I am to share it, Lieutenant, once the job is... We did.
We know the...
Well, no, this is thousand...
Well...
What is...
Why I had...
I am sorry for the inconvenience, Lieutenant. How do you think they're fine? With all due respect, precisely.
It sounds like she tried looking into it herself. She simply nods.
More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything. The girl in the old lady rags. Looks like a yes, she prefers a fantasy world. An infraco... I can't. All right. What next?
She won't maneuver her way out.
I am an...
She raises the corner of her... It's sharp.
No. Are you liber...
In her grief, forgive her, but only because you like pearlescent teeth.
A devil...
Beneath her waterproof raincoat and silk shirt is a body imbibed in numb 12 perfume. You are suddenly and intimately a woman.
I'm afraid you'll... When the dust settled, with you...
While it...
I would not...
She realizes...
Then...
Dark orange flames reflect in her grief.
Perhaps...
You're no dummy yourself.
A smart boy getting smarter. Yes. Whatever else I am. I'm also a mother. And a wife. Now, shall we return to reality?
Sure.
Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know. Anything else? What would you like to know? Good.
Энциклопедия. Я знаю. Мне же надо переодеться. Четыре. Может, получится. Как можно его поднять?
You're back. Good. What we do? I'm afraid I don't speak the Pines, and that is the...
The Wild Pines group is one of the original Revachol Saint-Baptiste.
Why, thank you. I'm not at liberty to just...
A billion?
Опять не работает.
$20 billion. A conglomerate the size of the Wild Pines is like a shark. If it stops moving, it will die. Then what they started? Centuries of care, deliberation, and madness have gone into this endeavor. They start centuries of care, deliberation.
She nods.
Ну ладно.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you? Just a moment.
10-4, come in, officer. Over.
Wait, before you say anything stupid, think it. Be smart about this.
10-4, sir, I'm not hearing your question. That's a negative, sir. I got a 10-12 here. Over. 10-4. Does he actually... He asked it. For God! Sir, satellite office. So, was there anything else? Understood, sir. Roger that. 10-10, over and out.
This is the...
Motor carriage. Something bad with the motor carriage. A dark lump rises in your throat. In the cabin, you see, as you tap on...
No, that's enough fun with...
The white suede feels luxurious. A metallic pull-out toolbox.
Hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything. I doubt it, but I do my best.
No one likes to see what you have to see.
I do my best.
No one likes to see. The pawnbroker's gaze is already fixed.
Someone else.
What? So the lieutenant shifts from one foot to another. Alert.
Sure, man. Someone...
What? The lieutenant shifts from one...
Sure, man. Sure thing. Maya...
A needle in a haystack. There is nothing you can...
She didn't seem, truth be...
Right, so...
Miraculously, his face does not reveal what's happening inside.
You're right that she could cast aspersions on the Force.
Maybe they went their way.
Maybe Claire really is tracking down your gun.
You...
With Kim here...
You were at, and I don't...
He's not telling you the whole story.
You...
With Kim here...
You were at, and I don't...
He's not telling...
You weren't. You were very... When I...
You sucked on very normal behavior. You must have been in great shape.
$15.
The lieutenant... This has got to... There's pity there too.
It certainly does.
especially in Revachol. Sure, man.
The crumpled Samaran butter billboard still soaks in the canal, marked by the lieutenant. The worn and beaten.
We can sit on benches after we've solved them.
You can revisit the bench if you ever need to pass.
Как его заставить пойти спать? Денег-то нет.
Can I help you? Got the 20 real? Then why are you wasting my time?
Yes?
This orange machine is dead still. You slip your if you want to try again, then you
Equip the pry bar by...
Так, что там нужно? Техника, по-моему.
This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner and an electric freezer. The ice around it slowly melting.
Грубая сила.
This orange machine is dead
Всё
still.
равно
It
3%.
has a hand-cranked ice cream churner, turning the it's all gone now. What better to assuage the creeping sense of failure than the ice squeaks beneath the pry bar. You think you've got the bar jammed in there. You see the pry bar's metal handle bending right before your very eyes.
Yeah, well, that's a good pry bar. I'm not criticizing it. But this ice cream maker is frozen shut. It takes an advanced tool to get it open. I have no idea, officer. This ice cream maker isn't important.
Sooner or later, you will stumble upon a tool mighty enough.
Ну, понятно. Не сейчас.
A few bricks have fallen off.
Seems like an old bed. It means there are...
He likes this.
Ничего.
thick layer of coal dust. The bear's eyes are still glowing red, watching over.
Ого.
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die?
Трепет 4.
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a
42.
die?
Наверное, маловато.
You feel.
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die?
A gust of cold air sweeps through the chimney. The stones and minerals on the shelves rattle as though agitated. For a moment, it almost feels as though you're outside the building, exposed to the atmosphere.
Didn't we already talk about this? What are you talking about? My address is exactly the same.
No, the old coal plant that used to be here was subsumed into the new venture. Its ruins swallowed up. Yet it has a different address in the heart of the city.
This doesn't make any sense. Are you saying my business was spared because of a technicality? Where is this coming from? You're right. I should take a trip to the roof once the snow is gone. Does it mean that I'm safe from failure?
Don't let her become complacent. She still needs to ward her soul against the evil forces. She starts laughing, her fingers trying to rub away the exhaustion from her.
Do you know what this is? It's a mourning ring. I made this when my first company failed. It was a small jewelry shop right here in the East Delta Commerce Center, built with the little I inherited from my parents. I drove it into the ground within a year. I didn't have what you would call a viable business plan. It wasn't just the jewelry shop either. I always thought that it was just the world that you were supposed to try again and again until you finally succeed.
Справедливо.
And now you're telling me what? That it was all because I didn't run my little shops and ventures from a dump inside an abandoned chimney? Yeah. Or maybe it's the entire world that's cursed. It's such a precarious place. Nothing ever works out the way you want it. That's why people like role-playing games. You can be whoever you want to be, you can try again. Still, there is something inherently violent even about dice rolls.
Да уж.
It's like every time you cast a die, something disappears. Some alternative ending or an entirely different world. But anyway, thanks for sharing your theories, officer. I'm listening. Oh, right. I hope you didn't try to ring me. I think none of those doorbells work, including mine. I'm still in the middle of connecting the wires. Sorry about the confusion. That's right. I haven't even written my name there. As I said, it's quite useless right now. It doesn't work yet. You could say so. Both houses were built at the same time and under the East Delta Commerce Center project.
If the whirling is part of the same building, then it's part of the doomed commercial area. The darkness of this place is there, too.
Right. It used to be a gaming arcade. This is an ancient failure, before my time. I'm not surprised, however. My advice, don't base your business on a fad. Hypnotism, floriography, trick-track, especially pinball.
Agreed. Pinball is the worst.
His disdain for pinball could not be clearer.
It can't be true. They don't work here anymore. They've been gone for years. Are you sure it was Slipstream SEA? Was it a woman? Maybe it was Plaisance from the bookstore. Oh, right. But did this person say Tricentennial Electrics? It used to be a major electric company 100 years ago. Are you sure it was...
No, it was something else. Whatever happened, keep your cool. It's probably better to admit that it was a harmless prank.
A prank is more likely, no? Oh, the kids these days. We were just one of them, and now they're terrorizing us. Sure, I'm listening. I'm pretty sure. Sure, I'm listening. Oh boy, the place was owned by two guys who had some rather innovative idea. Of course not. Eventually, Ravishell Ice City lost the price. Maybe he said it.
Scary, but cool.
Oh, I thought anything else? Oh, turns out.
What's the snuff? Trust me.
And they never cleaned up the debris either? Yeah, don't. They were made by... Honestly, I think it's quite funny. I think he's still sending the usual.
Men like that.
Sure. I have no idea why those skids and blades are still lying. Fortress Axe.
She liked them.
They were an interesting bunch. They certainly the usual. Well, they seemed to believe they were historical individuals. That's what in the end...
Showing up to work on time is hard. No, scratch that. Showing up to work at all is...
Still...
The result is... 1. The dice is...
Anything else? Good. I hope it clarified things a bit. What else? Nothing.
The lieutenant.
Your window looks directly...
I'm sorry, detective, but as you know, I usually have my... Well, during day...
She's not.
But I never saw anyone. I might...
It's light here.
It's really hard to make anything out. It's an odd profession.
She not.
Anything else, officer? Of course. Tell me what you have in mind. A star that fell from the firmament? Those cost more than 7 real. Are you sure? Alright, maybe some other die then? No need to rush.
barbell waits patiently on the floor like a dog for its master. The barbell waits patiently on the floor like a dog.
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything. Sure, let me have a look. Oh, no. Aphotic paths? Counter-radiance networks? Anything else you're thinking of selling? Anything else you're thinking of selling? Another time, perhaps?
Я же не заплатила, блин.
I help you? Got the 20 real? Good. You got the...
How could anyone forget, asshole?
You're already set for the night.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face, adorned with the expression. A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face, adorned with the expression. A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it. A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. The chain cutter. A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. The faucet is quite terribly mangled, but you handle the chain cutters deftly, applying just enough pressure. The faucet regains a recognizable shape. Told you that you needed those chain cutters. The mirror begins to clear slowly without you having to wipe it.
Все равно низкие. А как помыться-то?
This is not the cleanest bathtub. Ah, that soap scum smell. It smells like life. The bathtub, the water is only lukewarm, but still comforting. Like amnesia, you feel nice and lonely, and so tired. Now, they're not even really thoughts. Just assorted sensations. Your fingers grow pale and are covered with tiny whirls. What are you doing? You see the court. Then, houses along a narrow street. A video rental. Darkness. The waterline recedes as you stand. You are cold now. Your clothes stick to your still moist skin.
Хорошо. Это было очевидно. Что там?
man is decomposing visibly now.
Shoot, Looney Roon. Come back later.
The body is... You're going to need to summon all your strength.
Whoa. Yeah, fuck it to pieces for us, liar cop.
It's not completely useless. You're able to reveal a little more of the putrid. It feels like the leg is going to come off along with the boot. Just relax. See? The corpse doesn't care if you try to take his boots. He doesn't need them. He's probably glad to get rid of them. This is the right method. It takes some time, but eventually the boots come off.
Look, he's skinning the fucker up good. Hell, keep...
The legs look like they've been clawed at by wild animals. As for the boots, yes, these absolutely need to be washed before. Didn't the Whirling have a kitchen?
Ну, технически у меня получилось.
Fuck does Kuno care? Kuno doesn't...
I'll die before I...
These boots were probably Graceful Whirls, Fairweather T500. Still, just pieces of sock.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? That's the man who was killed. Better not touch...
She wants to answer the question.
What we do?
She nods.
What the Pines? And that is the...
The Wild Pines group is one of the original Son-Baptiste.
Why, thank you. I'm not at liberty to...
A billion?
20 billion. A conglomerate the size of the Wild Pines is like a shark. If it stops moving, it will... They started. Centuries of care, deliberation, and madness. You know more than you let on. You mean aside from being...
She nods. Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here. This industrial gas-powered stove has been used to prepare food for many hungry hostel guests. A commercial pot, there is a variety of... This is gonna take the hard stuff too. Use as much as you can.
И уксус.
The delicious... All right now, chef. Light up the stove and boil them. The strong smell of vinegar forces you to step away from... Strips of polymer fabric and human tissue separate from the lining of the boots. They float to... The boots look cleaner and cleaner. Those bits of human flesh, just like beef stew. That's it, chef. The boots are a pair of real beauties. The boots are shiny, hot, and reek of vinegar.
Господи, такие отстойные ботинки, авторитет и самообладание. Еще и в минусе. Того не стоит. Ну, хоть узнали какую-то интересную идею. Но мы, кстати, вымылись. Это тоже интересно, но...
Can I help you?
Того не стоит. Эти тапки. Кроме того, винтовка. Может быть, она нужна будет для допроса.
The man is deep. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
I thought we decided to leave it to processing. Let's not turn this into some kind of circus. I thought we decided to leave it to processing. Alright.
There go those...
I will need a little head carrying him. You take the hands, I'll take the legs.
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die?
Нет. Что мы с ней говорили здесь?
An old call box with a matrix of push